What? Yeah. What up? How you doing?
Yes, sir. Yo, what up? What up?
Yeah, man.
Hold up. Hold up. Let me see. You're not really seeing me, are you? There we go. There we go.
Yeah. All right. Some reason not going live, so I'm gonna post it up afterwards. But you can still do the interview though. Yeah. Everything's recording. All right. So this is King's Court Network. We are gonna be back doing our interviews there. All right. This interview, the personal one, very old friend, very good guy, very super talented.
Go ahead.
I always let the interviewer, I always let the person introduce themselves. So let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Oh, my man. Mumbles, what up, bro?
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, it's the big homie right there, man. Yeah, for those watching, man, Nifty Christian, Mumbles is the big homie from way back when, man. But Nifty Christian, man, just Google it, Instagram, holler at me, connect with me. I'm not really big on intros, man. I just love music. I love the Lord. You know what I'm saying? Love to teach, so I'm here, man.
All right. So um, when I first met you, I believe you were mostly just rapping, but you produced as well, right?
Yeah, yeah, you got it. You got it.
Are you nowadays? Are you doing both, or are you just producing? What are you working on currently?
Yeah, it's all of the above, man. So yeah, I still work on music constantly. I don't put it out as much because I got a good gig mentoring students at Centennial College with the rap careers there. So I spend a lot of my time kind of just mentoring kind of the upcoming generation. Um, but yeah, I still produce. I still sell beats, at least beats. Produce for myself and others. Do a bit of songwriting. In terms of what I'm working on for me, I got some stuff coming out in the summer, so probably EP. So I'm just, you know, I'm sure you know the process, right? You write a bunch of songs, you kind of trim it down to the best ones, and then whatever makes a cut is what gets put out. So I'm in that process right now where I'm just writing and recording, and I'm trimming off the fat. You know what I mean?
Okay, so what is that like? You have your like a home studio that you have there, so you recorded everything there.
Yeah, yeah. You can't really see it all right now. You probably just seen like the wall,
Yeah.
but yeah, I got a huge set up here, 24 channel board, the whole nine. So I can pretty much do everything I need to do from here.
Great. So being a rapper as well as being a Christian, I'm sure that put you into some interesting places because we both know that inside and outside the church, there have been various different views on Christian
Yeah,
hip hop. And
yeah.
how has that been? How has that journey been for you? Like, you know, being accepted by the church, being accepted by the non-church, and everything like that, with being a Christian hip hopper.
Um, it's cool, man. It's cool. I think a lot of people struggle between going back and forth with it or trying to do one and then transition into another market. I've always kind of just done me and kind of whoever gravitated towards my music, they did. If they didn't, I'm cool with it. Like it's music is it's a very subjective thing. So I understand if some people don't rock with me. I appreciate everyone that does, but to directly answer the question, I mean, I started off outside of the church, and then once I developed a relationship with God and what have you, um, my content changed. It wasn't preachy, but obviously my content changed based on what was happening in my life.
Yeah.
But my content, as you know, it's real life. I talk about my life a lot. I talk about my kids. I talk about my wife, things that have happened to me personally, things that I'm going through, and I'm no different than the next man. I bleed the same way. I go through struggles the same way. I go through highs and lows the same way. So I kind of just document that from the perspective of what I feel God is doing in my life. So I don't really struggle with it. A lot of people who are non-Christian rock my music because it's not really preaching at them. It's more so documenting my life and hopefully encouraging yours.
Yeah. Honestly, because like I asked that just because like I can like, and I'll never forget like it it, it ended up being like one of my like our like worst performances when I was rapping with Kim and Brad, children there. We did a show in Oshawa
Yeah.
for like they had a big festival. So we just finished our set. After our set, they bring up the preacher. And literally, so we just performed, and then the preacher goes up and
Yeah.
does like a 20-minute speech on how Christian hip hop is wrong and evil and of the devil. And I'm like, and we're just sitting there, and I'm like, and how you can't tie the two. And I'm like, you didn't know that like that was his view before you brought a bunch of
Yeah,
you know
that's bad. That's poor planning on their part, man.
yeah,
That's
like
poor
you didn't know what to do. Like you can't really get. You're like standing there and you're just sitting there listening to them just rip
planning.
apart everything that you just did.
Yeah. Oh man, that's funny. So yeah, I mean, I'll say this, man. The protocol is different for a church show versus a regular mainstream show, right? So when I do church shows, I always sit down with the church leaders
Mhm.
and I have a talk with them. So my main thing is, I teach this to my students as well. My main thing is, even if you don't like my music, you're gonna at least like me and see my heart. Like when I have a discussion with you and you see where my head is at, even if you can't understand what I'm saying because you're older, you don't really listen to rap music, you know that what I'm saying because you and I had a conversation, that
Yeah,
my heart is in the right place, right? So I think it's important for a lot of Christian artists to know that when you do Christian shows, you
yeah,
got to sit down and have a talk with the leadership team and let them know that this is your heart, this is what you're trying to accomplish, and even though they can't understand what you're saying,
mhm.
as long as they understand the heart behind what you're doing and what you're trying to accomplish, a lot of times, 9 times out of 10, they'll still rock with you.
So, other than the music stuff, what else are you working on? Because I heard before you were doing like a podcast, and I've seen that you're always working on other stuff. So what stuff are you working on now? Like other than the music, like are you still doing the podcasting or?
No, no. So the podcast was something I did with my wife. We did that for about 4 years,
Yeah.
and it was good, man. We had a great run. We ended up getting a nomination for best podcast. So it was good, but this was before our daughter came,
Yeah.
right?
That
So our
changes.
daughter, she was diagnosed on the spectrum, so autism, right? So there's a lot of um, care and attention that she requires. So because of that, we just didn't have the time to put into the podcast as we did before. So we cut down the podcast until my daughter's a bit older. When she's a bit older and understands a bit more, we'll bring it back. But for now, right, I'm going solo, man. I'm just producing, working with students and rapping, man. The podcast will come back later though, because
No,
everyone's been asking me about
I've,
it.
I've my twin boys. They're 12 now, and
Yeah.
even though they're high, both of them are on
Hold, hold on, hold on, hold on. They're 12 already?
12. They'll be 13 in November.
Jeez.
Yeah. So
Oh my
yeah,
goodness.
so I understand. Like especially at first, there's a lot of different uh
Yeah.
programs and stuff to try to help their development and everything.
You got it. You got it. Yeah.
So, how old's your daughter now?
She's 7 next month. 7 next month, bro. Yeah.
That's a good age. I always tell everybody take 1,000,000 pictures because they just magically grow up way too fast.
Man. Dude, I get it, man. My son just turned 18, man. So I get it. I get it. Trust me.
Yeah. So, what would you say would be being involved in the industry, performing and stuff? What would you say was like your best situation, like a great story that you had, and a bad situation of being involved in the music industry?
Sorry, what's the question?
What would be like? I like to ask, being involved in the music industry, touring, doing whatever. What would you say would have been like one of your best experiences, and what would you say would be one of your worst experiences?
This is gonna be a weird answer, but it's gonna be one and the same. It's touring. Touring was by far my best experience. Touring was also by far my worst experience. So I'll break it down. When you initially go on tour, it's exciting. Like that's the dream, right? Like you get to rock in front of thousands of people. And it's exciting. You're meeting new people every day. You're traveling. You're going to new places. You're rocking different stages. You're selling, merch and all that. So the money's good as well. But if your family isn't with you and you're touring all the time, it then becomes a drain where, you start missing home. And touring also, it then becomes almost like a job where if you're doing it every day, it's routine, right? You get up, you travel, you unpack, you rock, you shake hands, you sign CDs, you do an interview, you sleep, you get up, you travel, you rock, you shake hands, you sell CDs, you do an interview, you go home. So after a while, when you're doing all that, it almost becomes routine, and then you miss your loved ones if they're not with you. So yeah, touring was, for me personally, by far my best experience and my worst experience at the same time.
Definitely, I can see that. Yeah, because my kids were born right around the time where I was getting those opportunities to go other places, and then people were getting upset, like, "Why aren't you coming?" And I'm like, "My kids are a month old. I'm not going anywhere for 3 weeks. Like, it's not, the music. I realized music ain't that fun for me. Like so I had to take a real step back there.
Oh man, I get it.
So, how long have you been doing the work at the school, and how did that come about?
This is my 7th year now. How we came about, just an opportunity, man. It came, it found me. So the guy who started the program, Jesse, he is one of the music directors for the Toronto Mass Choir, and he started it with a good friend of mine, Jenna Burke. So Jenna and I have a relationship. When she had her album release party, she asked me to perform there. So I went to her album release party. I performed. I did a good job. So when her and Jesse started the program at Centennial College, they needed a rap teacher. So because I had the relationship with the two of them, they called me. I had to go through the full interview process with them and the dean and what have you. And when I was in school, I studied psychology, so I had a bit of a teaching background just based on that, and I was able to apply a lot of the concepts that I learned in music and just apply that with my psych background to teaching music. And yeah, it was a home run, man. So I was the first rap teacher in that program. I've been doing it since, and we've had a few guys who are graduating with like degrees in rap. It's it's dope, man.
So yeah, what what is the goal? Like, are they gonna be like graduating with projects? Because a degree in rap, I'm like, are they gonna be able to like be having projects done and stuff that they could release from this
Oh yeah,
program and
yeah,
stuff?
yeah.
And
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the way that we explain it to everyone is, um, just as someone can take drum lessons and vocal lessons and singing lessons and what have you, and they take those courses in college, and they graduate, being able to hone their craft a bit better. They know a bit of the theory and techniques. So, yeah, every student leaves equipped, being able to put together a project. I go through that whole process with them. Um, a few of my students right now are working on mixtapes, and I'm guiding them through that whole process. From planning, writing, production, marketing, photography, performing it, the whole nine, the whole life cycle of a full release rollout. I'm going through it with them. So when they do graduate, they at least know the steps to take,
mhm.
um, and the hustle that's needed to actually move forward in this tough business.
So what kind of cool like assignments do you give? Is that like you got a cipher, like what kind of assignments do like
Yep,
you have homework, you got to go in the
pre
battle.
pandemic, pre pandemic. Yeah, we had ciphers for sure. Post pandemic, I'm focusing more on their writing abilities. So, one cool assignment I typically give is writing from a weird perspective. So let's say you are writing about what just happened. Prince Harry and Meghan, right? Right. Um, I would have them rap from the Queen's point of view, right? Since the Queen is so silent on what's going on. So I like to have them rap from weird point of views and weird perspectives. It helps their brain work in a different way because most MCs, as you know, write from the I perspective, by
Yeah.
me, blah blah blah, right?
Mm.
So I try and get them to think outside of themselves and think like someone that they normally wouldn't think like an old queen or a fly on the wall, or if you remember Nas's track "I Gave You Power," which is about he's writing from the standpoint of a gun,
Yeah.
right? So I like to do exercises like that where they're writing from weird perspectives, and it just opens up their mind and it gets them writing it in a different way. So those are the cool ones that they enjoy as well as me. I like hearing what they actually bring to me with that stuff.
That would be actually, honestly, that'd be a difficult assignment for me. I was never good
You would
at
kill it. You would
writing.
kill it, man. Get out of here.
No, I was never good at writing outside of my own perspective. Like that's why, like, when rappers do all the super gangster stuff and I know it's not them, it
Right.
like it because I can't do it. Like
Uh,
like
you,
I
you
would
can, bro.
need it like, okay, I'm playing this role. It was very difficult for me to write outside of my own perspective and stuff. Like that's a very
So,
good type
so
of
for you, I would probably suggest writing from your kid's perspective because they're close to you, right? So you'll probably be able to start there and then kind of work your way out, right?
yeah,
But
that
yeah,
would,
you can do it, bro. Like I've listened to you. I know you got skill.
yeah. What do you what takes precedent over you now? The producing or the rapping and stuff? Like
Um, it's that's tough, man. It's a good question. I would say it's equal. That's probably not the answer that you're looking for. um, I would say producing comes easier to me because I started off doing that. I was a producer before I was a rapper, right? So production comes a little bit easier to me.
yeah,
Um, and my rap is usually it's more of an expression of my life. So I kind of wait for things to happen in my life before I write and record. So I think the simple obvious answer is probably production, but from a personal standpoint, I weigh them evenly, right? Because it's my life and it's my beats, and I love them both, man. It's like kids.
Okay. I like to ask who is your top five? I always ask the rappers. Who is your top five?
Ooh. Are we going Christian side or mainstream side or both?
Both.
Jeez. Okay. So I gotta put Jay-Z on there.
Mm.
I gotta put Biggie on there.
Yeah.
And this is in no particular order, mind you.
Yeah.
no particular
Yeah,
order.
the order gets it very difficult. Yeah.
The order is gonna mess me up, man.
Good.
Do you know Jackie Hill Perry?
Pardon?
Jackie Hill Perry. You know her? So
No.
she's a female MC on the Christian side. She's disgusting.
Okay.
I'll put her up there. Man.
Hmm.
Just because this artist was influential in introducing rap to me, don't laugh at me.
Okay.
I put the Fresh Prince up there. Old Fresh Prince.
Okay. Yeah.
Parents just don't understand Fresh Prince.
Yeah. Okay.
Who else am I gonna put up there? And probably gonna give the last one to J. Cole.
Very, very different, but
The weird list. I know.
Yeah. Don't worry, I won't lie about the Fresh Prince. I'll let you know. Probably to this day, like if Brand New Funk comes on, I have to listen to. That is my like. Yeah. Like I used to like literally listen to that like over. I love that song,
bro. Like he was the first one to win a rap Grammy, but I mean, I think he's one of the only artists where that song "Summertime" starting on it, "Summertime," when that comes on every summer, it's like it doesn't feel old. It still feels like it's such a classic, timeless song, and I love artists that have that timeless, that timeless song, man.
Yeah, because he really in not captured the time. He really captured like the season, like it.
Yeah,
what it
exactly.
feels like in summertime.
Vibe.
Everybody can relate to it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%, man.
Okay, so what was the last release that you say you don't release often? What was the last release that you have done?
My last release?
Yeah.
My last release was September 2020. I did a 2-track or 3-track rather, 3-track EP. One song was called "Waiting to Exhale," which was produced by myself, which talks about the whole Black Lives Matter movement. The other song in there is a song called "Pressure Me," where I had people DMing me, trying to get me to sell drugs for them, and saying that in order to be a good rapper, you should do drugs, and so I thought it was stupid, so I kind of wrote a song in response to that. And the last song on there was a song about a close friend of mine who passed away. He was actually my first producer, so it's kind of a tribute to him. So yeah, that just came out September 2020.
Okay. Right. So yeah, those are the questions that I have. So actually, what overall would you want your legacy to be when your music career is done and you look back at it and other people look back on it? What would you want your legacy to be?
Very simple, man. Two things. I always tell people this. I want my music to do two things. One is I want it to provoke thought. And two, I want it to encourage. two things. It's that simple. And I'll tell you a story, man. Maybe about 8 years ago, I had a, a kid and his mother, I think from Alberta, reach out to me. The kid had cancer, so he's in a hospital, and him and his parents reached out to me, and they were thanking me for my music, and they were saying it was kind of my music that was keeping his spirits up in the hospital. He was listening to my CDs every day, to my music every day, and rather than getting kind of downhearted about his condition, he was able to vibe and recite the lyrics and feel better. And he's good now, man. But I remember, I'll never forget how thankful him and his parents were, um, to have my music to kind of get them through that tough time. And to me, that kind of just encapsulates what I want to happen with my music. I want people to feel like their minds have been provoked a little bit, and to feel encouraged so that they can get through a rough time.
I think, yeah, like I think every artist, at least when they get started, want that experience of knowing, okay, my music affected,
Yeah, yeah,
affected
100%.
somebody, it made her
Yeah.
speak and stuff. So okay, so yeah, those are not all the questions. Tell everybody where to find you, where to check out your music, where to buy beats, all that stuff.
Appreciate it, man. Shout out my homie, man, KINGSCOURT. You know what I'm saying?
You go back
But
what, like
yeah,
15, 20 years?
man. Yo, I appreciate all your listeners, man. If y'all want to connect with me, just at Nifty Christian. So Instagram, Nifty Christian, Facebook, Nifty Christian. You'll find me there, man. I'm a pretty down to earth, personal guy. For beats, just hit up Big Nif Beats on Instagram, or bignifbeats.com. My beats are on there. But yeah, man, just hit me up, man. Like I said, you message, I'll message back, and I'm down to earth, man. So yeah, let's talk.
All right, so I'll have all of that in the description, and I'll send you the link when it gets posted. I do
My guy,
appreciate it, man. I'm glad that you're still doing it. You've been one of the most talented, I was honored to work with you.
appreciate it,
And,
man. Thank you. No, likewise, man. That respect goes two ways, man. So I've been a fan for a minute, bro. So keep
yeah,
doing your
you
thing.
were always very supportive. I love that, man. I'm praying for you. God bless.
You too,
And you know
fam.
what? And we'll talk, all right?
Yes, sir.
All right.
All right,
Thank you
fam.
very
Much
much.
love, man.
Peace.
All right, peace.
All right. That was the interview with my homie, Nifty Christian. Make sure y'all look him up, support his music, another Spotify, all that there. Make sure y'all check him out. KINGSCOURT Network. Follow me on Twitter at KINGSCOURT ENT. Follow me on Instagram, Mumbles905. I'm also live on Bigo, King Mumbles. Come check me out. We're out. Peace.